1 2 1 2 1 2. Hoping this is coming through. This is coming through. I'm not sure if this is coming through or not. Again, having problems. Alright, tell me it's excellent. Okay, now we're getting there. Okay. So let me get this set up properly. There we go. There we go. Now I can see what's going on. Much better. Okay. Right, we should be live. So let me know if you can see or hear me, if there's anybody on. I'm actually talking over. On Windows. It's technically difficult. Okay, stop giving notifications. So I'm off site with the build right now, as you already know. It's winter in Russia's properly here, so and if I can do this a little bit better, hold on a minute. Let's have a look at this here. Ooh. There we go. How's that? How's that? That should be much better now. Should be getting. Should be coming through now. Okay. Okay, so I'm off the site from build right now. It's winter here, obviously. So it's more of a fireside question and answer. There's a few things I wanted to mention. Why is it doing that? I'm not sure. That's better. So that's some technicalities I'm working on. If you're watching on replay, stick around and you'll see what we're talking about. I've got a backup mic and a backup camera if it goes off. I'm not expecting a lot of people on this live stream today because it's the first one, but over time it may gain some traction. For anybody who's new to the channel, I don't know what I'm about. This thing behind me, obviously it's not a real background, it's a photo, well, it's an artist's impression actually, is what I'm building. It's although that fact yes it is that's the project but with some alterations on it. I'd actually forgotten about, but we'll go through that. So if you're new here, if you don't know me, I'm a British Army veteran and I'm building a modern house pretty much on my own. Yes, my wife has given me some help, but physically I'm on my own in rural Russia. At the moment I'm in St. Petersburg, and this build is going to be in Staraya Russa, which is Novgorod. And it's a very, very nice town. Normally you see on the videos you would see me on the build. Obviously I'm not at that now. So if you've got any questions about the build while I'm online, now is the materials or about living in Russia and army stuff. Not going to talk about that much. Throw them in the chat so that I can keep an eye on what's going on and I can answer them. There is a chat there. I can see it as far as I know it is working, and I realised I hadn't realised it actually before this stream that we're actually on Christmas Eve. So happy Christmas to everybody. I'm just reading through here what I've got written down. Obviously I can't build now because of the cold, and I'm also not only that, but because of when I was there in the summertime. I had a micro stroke, and so I've got to take it carefully now. A bit careful. Welcome whoever's in. And that's why I'm not building at the moment. If you've followed the build so far, if you followed my channel, what are your feelings on it? What your questions on it, about the weather, how it affects us. It does affect us, especially the wet. What are you most curious about? What do you want to know about? Obviously, some people put some interesting comments, especially Jay Whitecloud. You're welcome. You you gave me an ear lashing today, but hey, that's all right. I'm okay with that. So anyway, but that's the thing. That happens. I'm not getting any see. Wherever you're looking, wherever you're viewing from, write it in the chat where you're from, and where you're viewing from. And what the weather's like there compared to here. We're at only about -1 today. It may actually go a bit lower during the night, but it's not very cold at the moment. Aussie Spy, good day Aussie Spy. Is it all coming through for you okay? Does it sound okay? Does it look okay? The rest of it. Where are we? So yeah, basically we're on today is to talk about the build. Obviously the channel is about the build, and so I want to discuss that more than anything, and I have some things to show you, and especially I want to answer the question from Jay Whitecloud who thinks I was doing something wrong with using joist hangers. So I am going to bring up that in a minute about the joist hanger business, when I can find where they are. Yeah, I have. It's not going to work, is it? It's not going to work, is it? Of course, it's not going to work. Nothing's ever going to work in real time, is it? Why is it that not coming through? I wonder. Why can't I add in my things? I've been playing with this a few times this week, and I've had no problems, and now today it won't let me add in what I want to add in. Isn't that typical? How you doing here? I just came out of the attic, and that's for taking the piss. Feedback as well. Yeah, because most don't. Yeah, I'm up for taking feedback. I'm not a professional builder. Yes, I've done a lot of building, but my specialty is foundations, especially pile foundations. That's my thing. And so I can't claim to be the world's best builder. But what I do know is certain things in Russia here are different to what you would do in whatever home country people are from. And I wanted to talk about. I wanted to bring up a picture of this terrace, but it won't let me do it. It's just doesn't want to play today. I don't know why. Edit image. Maybe that's it. I don't know. It just won't let me add a new image in. But basically, the original plan. I've got a 3D model to show you, and I can't bring it up. I just can't bring it up. I'm sorry. It's just technically it won't allow me to add in a picture. I've had. See what I can find. Right. Okay. I've worked it out. Hold on a minute. I was hitting the wrong button. So let me bring in this. Wait. I have a file here for this, especially for this particular question, because obviously I wanted to. No, it's not that file. Hold on a minute. Give me 1 second. One second. Live stream pictures. That's what I put in. So here's a 3D model. I think it should come up in a minute. So you can see here's a 3D model. I'm in the way of this, right? But you can see the terrace there on the right hand side, or terrace, wherever you want to call it. This is the bit we're talking about, the bit that Jay Whitecloud was giving me grief about today. So the reason what I've done, I've altered the plan slightly, basically. On the original plan, and I can show you this. Hold on a minute. What's your building and where it's relevant, but having designed in both Canada and Alaska, the issue are about the same. The method is good for what life is context to be modern. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. In Russia here, they use a mixture of Scandinavian and American technology. So I really, I don't know. From what you know, I've done a lot. I've worked in a lot of housing. I did used to do electrical installation. Electrical installation here is. I mean, I don't know America or wherever else you do it. I don't know how you do the electrical installations there. And certainly in the UK, we never have wooden housing. So this, to me, I've learned everything I know. I've learned here. It's relevant to here. And basically, what happens is, for the electrical wiring, it goes between the water membrane and the finish. So you've got water membrane, then you've got a spacer, and then you've got the final finish, which is cladding, or you call it a tongue and groove, I suppose, and it goes in there. So that's maybe slightly different, and it goes inside what they call a gofra, which is a thin plastic tube. I'm not sure what you do in other countries. Not sure if that's what you would do in America, but basically technology. I'm using only Russian technology, and that's a classic example of how it's done here. And the problem I had with so what they've got is, I'll show you, I'll bring another picture up here, and I'm going to have to go through, and I'm only allowed to add so many as far as I can see. It's still not come. All right, here we are. Okay, so you'll allow me to do it. Hold on. So let's have a look here. I'm adding everything here, so I can pick through. Right. Okay. Okay. It's telling us some nonsense. I don't know what it's telling us. You can't have this. You can't do that. You can't do that. So this is now well, as you can see, this is a closer picture of the terrace. This is what I modelled in Revit, and basically, if you look to the top, you've got the red lines going across the piles there, and that is what's known as the Nizhny Obvязка. I don't know what you would call that in English. I probably might be bottom sill, maybe. So it's below the floor. So it's a platform that you build the house on. And the original drawing, that, if I can, I'm not sure if my hand will show it. The original drawing, this beam here is set 5 centimeters inwards, and what it allows then is you to rest the wood on top of that, so you don't need any joist hangers, right? But the problem is, if you do that, this is a terrace, this is an outside, it's not inside the house, it's outside. It's not going to be covered. Well, part of it's going to be covered. So these things always rot. I mean, it's just a fact of life. Wood outside, it rots eventually. And if I was to build that as the plan goes, what happens basically is, if you come to replace that, your joists are between the wall and the Obvязка. So you have a devil of a job getting out. That's the first thing. Second point is that I'm going to pick up another picture here. Hold on, I'll show you here. So this is the second picture. You can see around here I've got joist hangers. So if I need to replace that, I can whip those joist hangers off and replace those beams really easy without any problems at all. And also, obviously, they get wet. You know, you get snow, we get rain. It drops down. It drops down, but it won't drop down onto the bottom plate or bottom sill, or Nizhny Obvязка in Russian. It won't drop down to there. So that's why it's done that. That's why I've done it that way with these joist hangers, so that water can't be sucked into it and down the bottom there. Where are we? The methods I use is from both Asia and Eastern Europe. They make challenge is even IBC decorator is not supposed to be attached but freestanding. If that makes, yeah, I get that. The red would be called a sill or rim beam or rim joist. Okay, so here it's Nizhny Obvязка is what it's called here. That's the way it's done here anyway. That's the way I've done it. That was my model. That's what I did in Revit. I'll show you some other pictures of what it's. Well, you've seen what I'm building. This was the original design that I had altered. It came from Rue plans. You find them online, and you can see it had a back door that I've removed, and then the bathroom and all that's changed inside. So this is the drawing that I had redone, the original drawing. That's the architect's plan. But that's the reason anyway. That's why I put the joist hangers in there. It's to stop water coming in into there. This is that's the floor. It's a bit poor in it. You can't really see that. That's a typical Russian plan. Not sure what you can see of that. But that's basically the plan. I'm in the way here, I know the camera. So if you can imagine this bit, I'll try and do this here. So this bit here is a terrace. This bit here, this bit we're talking about here, that bit there, and you can see it stops, and it's a separate free floating piece as it was, you know. Even exposed to weather when done in traditional context, and exposed to it should last for 100 years or more. The truck, yeah. Yeah, I mean, 100 years here, no. I don't get that. I can't see it lasting 100 years. It might be 20. But you've got what we've been cursed with now is not being able to use things like creosote, and even things like deck oil. It's very difficult to get here. It's just not used. It's modern, you know what I mean? We're a bit behind the times here. Comes apart easily needed for servicing and does not cost it. Yeah, I mean, it does come apart now because I've got joist hangers on there. That's why I put them in there. It's not like, and also this bit here, well, I can see it all on. Get the right hand here. This bit here is where the front door is going to go. That little this is what they call tambo. That there is again, I put joist hangers in there to prevent that the wood joining onto it. But yeah, that's what I've done. And that's the reasons for it. And I think I think the architect should have done that in the first place. If you use joist hangers, not the way it was originally designed. You can see this is this is what we're going to work on in the summertime when I go back. So the ceiling and this small roof here, which I'm absolutely dreading, by the way. That is going to be a job and a half. All those 200 by 50 beams have to be pulled up to the roof and put into that. I don't know if I've got a picture of the roof beams themselves. I'm looking here. I don't have it. Maybe I have somewhere, but where? Oh, right. Is that it? So yeah, there's the roof beams. So they've all got to be dragged up there on my own and put into place. So that's not a job I'm looking forward to. It's going to take me a long time to do that. The oldest I have disassembled of a traditional structure like yours is 1690. Ooh, and the wood was reused to make cabinets. I bet it was. The topic is a matter of learning of the traditional method you're designing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, traditional methods. I mean, traditional methods. Have I got the time to learn traditional methods at my age? No. Stick framing. Yeah, we in England we would call that stud walls, basically. Somebody argued with me. Somebody wrote in the comments. I forgot what it was, that they're not called walls. They're called frames and whatever. Okay, stud wall in English. In where I'm from, stud wall. So I mean, there's so many different terminologies. I mean, even in Russia here. Even local words for tools are different. So, for instance, a bulgarka is an angle grinder, but they call it a shum. Explain that one to me. And a disc is a disc or a kruk. So different variations, and I think there's so many variations in building that it's local words for things. I mean, you for instance, we call it, we used to call mastic, you would call caulking, things like that. So I don't get too hooked up on the technical terms of it. I can only show you from from a perspective from here. Now, by the way, I couldn't tell you ever to build this place in whatever country you're from. This probably wouldn't conform to whatever code from your country. It would probably never conform to anything like that. This is only for here, for Russia, where we don't have such regulations as that. There are codes, but nobody follows it. You're not that old. Smile, the client that took this project. I'm now 70 years old. I agree fully about terms. Yeah, it's just there's so many in there. It's just, I mean, oh God knows. I mean, another example, a metal bar, a pry bar. In England, we would call that a pinch bar, metal bar. Or in America, I suppose you call it a lever bar or something. I'm not sure. But in Russia, they have a couple of terms for it as well. They call it a lom, or they can call it a montage. So, you know, stashka as well, third word for it. So, so you get the idea. Things they vary all the time, come up with all kinds of crazy names and stuff. But that's the build stuff. So what was I going to say? So I'm going to show you a few of these inside pictures of what the project will look like. By the way, once we're allowed to make a memberships, I'm not allowed to do it yet because YouTube's not given. I've not got that many hours up. International building code works everywhere, but you're correct. It's easier to build there than here. I'm moving back to Eastern Europe for the best part here. Yeah, I mean, there is no, the rules here are nothing compared to, I mean, in the UK, I wouldn't get away with building this. Not a chance. I'd have people coming at me with yellow vests and clipboards and God knows what. There's no way. Here, I can get away with it, where there's not so much regulation. Which can be good and bad because in Russia, every winter you get a heck of a lot of fires. There's a house fire every day. There's always somebody getting burnt to death. Always. And it comes from a lot of bad practice. And I'm trying to show what's the best or the way to do it rather than getting burnt alive. I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff in buildings. I mean, some really daft stuff. I mean, like putting foam insulation in the ceilings or the floors. If you have a fire, it's all going to drip down on you. You know, he is old. I am old here. But yeah, that's the. What was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought now. You've thrown me. So the files will all be uploaded. Everything, including all the plans, all of that is all going to be on the members bit, and you can go in there and get that later on. But it's not. I'm not allowed to do it yet. I'm still waiting. I've got 38 hours to go before I can do it. So I've got to wait. But all these will be in there, and be able to have a good look through and see what you think of these. These are from the. There's actually 2 files in the. Oh, more than 2 files. Actually 5. This is what they call the facade or architectural plan. So there's not much in it, detail in it, but it gives you a general look at what's going on. Incidentally, so this, yeah, so you can see it better here. I do consulting work in the UK. It's a nightmare. So stick with the old architecture. They have not choice but to listen to me if they want to save their heritage structure. Sounds like a good move. The UK, I can't imagine the UK. There's is it Winchester or something like that, where they've actually got to have the same door handles on every house, or they're out of code. I can't imagine it. Nah, not for me. But I appreciate restoring and preserving ancient properties, but there's a limit, isn't there? You know, you need to do it take it to extremes. When I go back, it's exactly what I'll be doing when I go back. So I've got this. I'm going to try and show you here with my hand. It's very difficult to do this. So hold on. I can't do it. I can't work out to do it. So this bit. That's strange. This bit here. So you got this bit here, which is the fronton. I'm not you would call that gable, I suppose. And then we've got this other bit in here. These small walls here that are going around this thing, and there's another one there. So there's quite a bit of stud work to go in there. It's not big stuff, but it's enough to keep me going for a while. And they're at funny angles as well. You are using R factor or U factor to calculate your thermal resistance in insulation. Don't know what those are, honestly. Honestly, I have no idea. Basically, what they've got here, each region can be very different. It's, we've got, you've got basically people know what's needed. Here in St. Petersburg, you would need 150 millimeters of insulation everywhere, the whole thing, or more, 200 if you can afford it. It starts to get expensive because you put 200 millimeters in, then you've got to put 200 millimeter walls in, haven't you? Where I'm building this in Novgorod, it doesn't get as cold, and we can get away with 150, and in the floors 150, and in the ceiling 150 as well. So I'm not sure what the R factor or whatever it is. It's basically Rockwool Light is the stuff we use, or you can go for Calf. I'm not sure what that is in English. I have no idea. It's called Calf. It's insulation, but it's not itchy. It's not stuff that sort of like Rockwool itches you. And you've got two types here of Rockwool. You've got the glass fibre one, and you've got the mineral one. And they both itch like hell, and there's not a lot of difference, to be honest. But 150 is what we use everywhere, and it's worked out. Okay, when you go for a drawing, they ask you the region, and then they check their whatever it is. And my dog barking. Missus coming back. They check their thing, and they come up with a calculation for you. So I really don't know about the thermal values. The only thing I'm changing is if you look at that ceiling there on that one there is insulation in the ceiling. There's no insulation in the roof. The roof's not going to be insulated. What they call a holodny cherdak, or cold roof. So you can see another. Yeah, so you can see where I've got to build the gable ends there, and that bit around, this bit around here, around the front window there. It's a bit of a task to do all that. That's going to be in 200 up there, by the way, because that's a cold roof. So everything else 150, apart from that bit. I can show you this bit here, this bit there. That is the only bit that is complete. That bit there is all going to be in 200 millimeters, because obviously it's a high roof. It's an open ceiling. There's no ceiling, so it's 150 millimeters IBC minimum for that region. IBC. The project now is R30 about 4. Ooh, roof is R6 turbo. Yeah, there it is. But the cost would be unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, where I am, it's actually Stara Russa. It doesn't get the cold. I mean, my neighbour sent me a picture the other day, and they're kind of in plus temperature, and we're in minus here in St. Petersburg. And it's a much drier climate up there, by the way. So it's much warmer up there. It doesn't get the cold. It doesn't get the snow like you do in St. Petersburg. It only lasts for a matter of days up there, so it's not got the cold. And even so, for a few days, it wouldn't matter. Well, that's having 150, apart from that roof there, which is 200s. What else can I show you? It's something, I'm not sure how you would calculate timber in wherever you're from, but that's how we do it here. So you get a tablet form, and it tells you what it is and the sizes. So basically, so that you can look at it, and when you order the stuff in, you can count literally how many planks you get. So if you order one coop, you can say, oh, it's got 44 pieces of that in. You can see if they're trying to shortchange you or not, which is common with that type of material. Also, I'll show you the Russian design plans. They come in this format, so you can see that's the floor there. And you basically, everything is sized, tells you everything. And up here there's a size of what the timber is, where it is, whatever, it's all by number. And then what else do you get? This is a typical wall drawing. You can see it tells you that's actually the kitchen one. I think, yes, it is the kitchen wall and the spare room, front bedroom. So that's tells you exactly how many beams, where they are, what side. Ooh, my camera's just gone off, hasn't it? Why has my camera just gone off? I don't know. It shouldn't have run out. switch it off and on. I think it just does that every now and then. I have got a backup camera if it does go off. There we go, to come back on. So don't know why it does that. I think it's on the timeout. So yeah, you get that. It's it's done so that anybody can follow it basically. A really simple drawing, and they also give it you in 3D. And I'm just looking for my 3D. So yeah, so that's a 3D version as well. So you can look at, so people can look at it and yeah, counter stuff. Yeah. Cool roof system, which will also have a rain screen on the external, a rain screen system. I'm not sure what you mean by that. So basically, on the inside and the outside, it has a layer of membrane around. So on the outside, you've got membrane, water membrane, a bit like Gore-Tex, and then so it's breathable, but it doesn't let water in, but lets water out. So Gore-Tex, you know about Gore-Tex. It's got tiny perforations in it, and basically it'll let steam out, but it won't let water in. That's how Gore-Tex works, you know. And this is basically designed on that. So if it gets warm, it'll come out, but water won't go in. So a water molecule is bigger than a steam molecule or something, whatever it is. But yeah, it kind of works like that. So yeah, that goes on the outside. Then you have a spacer, a slat of timber, so 25mm or 50mm. And then you have the final finish on the outside, and that isn't sealed. That's so your air can travel up and down it. It's not sealed in at all. It's just one of those. I will show all that though in the build as we go through it. I'll show you everything. Can I show? This is So this is what. Oh, why isn't that showing? It doesn't want to. All right, now it's doing it. It's taking a little while to come through. So that's the actual build, if you can imagine, minus the back door that's missing. It's not going to be on there. That's what it's going to look like, hopefully, or like that if you like. That's basically, you can see with if you look at the videos, you'll see that that's the way it will look when it's done. A lot of work on that window. We have altered it somewhat again. It was meant to be to the floor, and we want to put small radiators underneath the window, so the thin radiators, you know, kind of like this kind of size, and they'll go underneath the window completely. So that's kind of why the window's been raised a little bit, to give us an option to put those in. I think I've set it at 40 centimeters from the floor level. So I think that's what I did. What else? I was going to show you. What else? It's a rain. This is a rain screen with an air gap, as you described. That is excellent. This is done. If done well, you do not need the house wrapped by the Gore-Tex at all, as many of these modern plastics do not wear. No, it's literally, you put this rain screen, or this. It's literally a Gore-Tex. It's like a Gore-Tex layer. It's all in one. So that goes around completely around the house. Everything, and it's overlapped and sealed with tape. And then the spacers go in on each upright. I haven't got a picture to show you here of the. Oh, I have. So you can imagine. So if you can imagine on each upright there. I don't know what you'd call them in English. I'm calling them uprights, up or in Russian. I don't know the English term for it. On each one of those, as your wrap goes around it, or your membrane, a spacer goes onto that, and then your final finish, which in my case is imitation Bruce. What's that? Imitation Bruce is like tongue and groove, if you like, as well as advertised mini fairway for you. Yeah, I mean, basically for that membrane, you want to get the most expensive one you can get. There's cheaper ones out there, and no, they're not doing it. It's quite expensive actually. It's about $80 a roll for 25 meters, so quite expensive. It's probably one of the most expensive things on the house is the actual membrane, but it's going to pay dividends, especially on the roof, because if it's a metal roof, by the way, metal sheeting roof, on, now I don't know what you call it in English, but cherry pizza in Russian. Oh, someone's buzzing me. Cherry pizza is like imitation tiles, I guess. That's what's going on the roof. But it's metal sheeting basically, but made to look like tiles. That's the thing. But, I mean, yeah. I mean, long term may fail within a few decades. I don't know. On this house I built here, the first house I'm in now, this membrane has been on 15 years and there's no sign of anything, any problems like that. Nothing at all. I don't know. But if it lasts 25 years, I'll be long gone, dead and buried by then, so I'm not worried about that. 25 years, I'll be what? 85. I'll be under the ground by then, won't I? Yeah. Is that air gapped rain screen wall diaphragm? Okay. RP engineers use on products will not use a house wrap any longer because of the expense and they fail. I'm not sure what house wrap is, honestly. I think you're talking about membrane, right? Yeah, I mean, it's basically water vapor membrane, but it also stops drafts. And this is what I've been saying about. If notice, I've been mentioning about the Jutevi Utepletal, the Jutevi insulation between the timbers. What people put here in Russia, I've seen it time and time again. I mean, it's just use the Gore-Tex, yeah, house wrap. I've seen it time and time again where houses are built and they're not putting insulation in between the joints and they're relying on this house wrap. They rely on that, so it wraps around. They think that's going to stop any wind, and it doesn't. Wind will find the gaps will be found. Basically, one little place, and what you get is compression with the wind, and it causes it like a sheet, kind of like a sail, and it pushes air through any gaps in the timber. You know, I know firsthand. So you know, again, something that's to be wary of. I'm going to show all that. You know, well, I have been showing it. There'll be no air gaps in this frame. Every joint will be sealed up one way or other with the old what do you call it? Penna spray. So I'm trying to show you pictures here. This is from what I had my students come early for what they want to learn today. Blessings. Okay, have a great day. Merry Christmas to you, by the way. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for joining me. It's a great thing to have other people's opinions on buildings. Obviously, it's nobody can know everything. You know. Thank you. Yeah, you too. You have a great day with the students. I'm sure they will learn a vast amount from it. And the stuff that you produced on that picture you showed me today was just absolutely phenomenal. I wish I had your skills to do things like that. I don't. Marvelous, you know. We don't. I couldn't never produce things like that quantity. So we move on here. Why am I not doing this here? Oh, okay. So I found it again. So there we go. Coming up here. Lena, пожалуйста. So we're going up here. To find this thing here. Alright, okay, so here we are. So I've got some things to show you here now, but I've probably not shown very much, or if at all. It's telling me it's going to be. Oh, it won't let me do it. It won't let me do it because they're in 4. Let's try 1. Can't upload files of 4K or it's not high. Check the video resolution. Try out because it won't let me do it. Won't let me show the files that I wanted to show. So unfortunately, that's one of them. But anyway, we've been going for 42 minutes, and I think for our very first live stream on a Wednesday, it's pretty damn good. A lot of response. I think that's great, and I will be doing these lives on Wednesdays right through from now, all through winter and through the summer as well. It'll always be Wednesdays evening, will always be desktop, other lives as well as videos and shorts and all the rest of it, and whatever. But Wednesday is always going to be the desktop Wednesday, so don't forget to tune in onto that, because it could be fun. And I'll see you all on the next Wednesday, which I think is actually, what date are we on next Wednesday? Next Wednesday will be the 31st, New Year's Eve. Don't know if we can do that, can we? Don't know. Might have to cancel that one on New Year's Eve, or bring it forward to 30th, which would be Thursday. Don't know. It's a funny time of year. We'll have to see. I'll have to think about that one. But anyway, happy Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year, and I'll see you on the next Wednesday live stream, which will be maybe next Wednesday, but maybe we'll skip a week and start again after the New Year, fresh one. And I'll tell you what my plans are between then. There should be some more